obviously sharp enough to get in. He's going to come in and stabilize like this, okay? Now, I'm going to put trauma pads. This is large. I've got enough surface area I can use trauma pads. If it were on the femur, I would use 5x9s, which are otherwise known as abdominal pads. They're smaller, okay? If we were working on like a forearm, I would use 4x4s. Whatever you use, it's the same principles wherever it is and whatever size you're working with. So basically you're going to make sure that the folded end, okay, is what's going to come in and what's going to go towards the injury. And we're just going to work to build a Lincoln log set. And we're going to work to alternate. Notice how I'm alternating the directions. Somebody start opening these. And save the occlusive. We want to go up at least 3/4 of the way. Here's some. Thanks. Don't take your hands off. Okay, so I'm going to say that this is 3/4 of the way up. You want to go up 3/4 of the way. So you're going to be using a lot of whatever you're using, okay?
What if it's like a piece of rebar and it's like way out here?
You're going to get a rescue squad to cut it down,
Oh, okay. All right.
right? Because it's going to be really hard for you to transport a patient that has some giant, huge things sticking out of them.
You can't transport a light pole. Or a tree branch.
No, you would have somebody stabilizing it while they cut it, but you wouldn't necessarily have completely bandaged it before they cut it. And kind of, there's this whole delicate thing of how close to the body do you cut it, because the cutting it is going to warm it, especially if it's metal. So there's always these delicate things. So he has to keep stabilizing it. He can't assist me with this pulling it under thing. So I'm going to do this all by myself, okay? So again, I'm going under the small of the back, and most people have a small of the back. Mike's got a decent one.
Sorry, I thought it was funny. Most people have a smaller bag.
You'll run into some people who don't.
They just have.
Big bag. Big as a bag.
Trying to hold inside food.
Oh my God.
You don't gotta be dirty-minded.
All right, so with this, we're going to tie in the center. And notice how I ended parallel to the body. Actually, that's backwards.
What do you mean you ended
Perpendicular.
Hold on, I need to put 2 more on.
Yeah, I don't know this.
I did it backwards.
So you always end with the pads.
You
facing
end with
that.
Here, let me show you what happens if I tie like this, because it just happened. If I tie like this, what's going to happen is that these are going to slip off.
Makes
Okay?
sense.
So you have to end so that the top ones won't slide off. No, I have it right. It's the other way. I'm hallucinating.
So confusing.
I do have it right. Sorry. I'll explain it better.
Have you ever had an impale patient?
Never doubt yourself, huh?
Have you ever had an impale patient?
Most people rip it out. So everybody that I've had who's been stabbed has yanked it out.
See,
Is that a bad thing to do?
Yes.
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 Bad thing to do.
This lady kind of sealing.
Yeah, I know it's
stairs
kind of
and,
sealing
like,
that, like I know.
Okay, so let me explain why I was right in the first place and now I just really confused you by doubting myself. So the reason why you stay parallel to the body is because if I tied this and I had one here, this is going to be the only thing holding that one top piece. And if this starts to slide, it's going to start pulling the top piece off. Whereas now, because I have this here, I'm going to have both of these top pieces held down by two different cravat straps.
No, that makes sense.
So if you ever get confused, think about that explanation and me having self-doubt and being silly.
So the padding and the cravat are opposite.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's another good way to think about it.
Wait, what did you say? The pad, like the padding and the cravat.
Top layer of the padding and the cravat need to be opposite.
Because basically that way you have the cravats and the padding
Is it the cravat?
are all grabbing each other.
Yeah.
And notice how I made it like nice and spread out
Looks like a pillow
as much as I could. It's structurally sound is what it is. Because basically the cravats are both holding, two cravats are holding each of the top pads. Because if I did it the other way, if I ended like this, one cravat would be holding the top pad each,
Show 'em
and
a-
it would be a little bit more likely to slide off. It's,
You might have missed that, Marie, but she's saying if you put it like this, like if this starts to slide like this,
Yeah.
for instance, these
and
will
the
fall
reality
off.
is it's not likely to slide on
Yeah.
something this big, but when you have smaller ones, it's a lot more likely to slide.
In the book, they have they do the same thing with the eye. They put like a cup or something over it and like taped it around. We do that as well.